Hi guys, in this video I will show you how to configure LogBack in a Spring Boot project. We have some Java login frameworks, but in Spring Boot LogBack is default, and LogBack is one of login framework for Java application. It created as a successor to the popular Log4j project, so it has some improvement in performance compared to the Log4j. In LogBack, we have three components: core, classic, and access. And now we move to the first part today, config LogBack dependency. And to configure LogBack dependency, you can use the Spring Boot starter. It's something like we can add in the JPA or GDBC. For Spring Boot starter login, we should add the one dependency, and it can get every related to LogBack for your project. And one thing I want to remind here, that is the version. And you can see that it depends on the version of Spring Boot starter parent. In the case I use 2.7.4. So for when we add another dependency related to Spring Boot starter, you have to have the same version here. And for more simple, you need not to add the version in the dependency, because we have the common dependency for Spring Boot starter parents version here. So now I will add one more dependency for LogBack using Spring Boot starter. And now we can install the new dependency, and after installers you can go to the dependency tab here, and you can see the LogBack dependency already installed in your project. And you can see it is similar to Spring Boot starter JPA or JDBC, and Spring Boot starter login. It also adds some other dependency like classic or this one. So you should add one dependency like this, and we can get the others thing. So the next thing, we will have some basic login config. So in this video, I just focus on configure login in application property instead of LogBack XML. And if you want to use LogBack, it's really similar property, but to make everything simple, I just use application property and remove on the XML configuration. And now, firstly, I want to mention about the log levels, and you can see I draw some log level here from the jacks to debug info and one error. And the important thing here, that is logging level root, and that is the configuration to help you when we add the level info. It means that only the message of level info and above are output to the log. It means that just show info, one, and error. And now I will do some demo for that to help you understand more. So I add this property logging level root in the application property file, and you can add any level you want. For example, in the case I add the info. So, and now I will add some log to demo to see that it will show to the output console. So before to do, we have to add the logger. That is the logger variable, just like the final variable. And now I will log from the jacks debug info one and error to the console. So that is on the log for every level. We have track debug info one and error, but when in the root level I just put the info, it means that when we run this project, we run this function, it will show you the log for info debug, info one and error. So now we can see the run here. Yeah, you can see in the console, it just shows the log of info one and errors because the root level is info. So now we move to the sum the false mask in the log message. You can go to the link to see the some convention of the false mask here. But in this demo, I just show you some one example to add the pattern of controller. That is also the popular thing you can do in your project. And after I add the pattern show in the screen either default pattern, and you can custom any pattern you want with the login pattern properties. You can see that that is the pattern of the log that I configured here with the datetime, the level of log, the class and methods. It means it highlight here and the log message at the end. You can format with the colors. For example, I want to highlight the color of daytime to yellow. I will put something like this with the color at the follow the daytime format. And now you can see the difference happen here. You can see the yellow daytime happen, appears in the log console. So now we move to the NetParse class level login. It's also important because sometimes for example, you add the root log info, it means that just show info one and errors. But sometimes in some specific class, you want to show the debug. You want to show the debug log for that class. So you can configure specifically in for that class. For example, in this one, I want to show the debug log and debug log level for the class customer service implement here. So in the case, I put the login level and the name of the class after that, and I will add the debug for this log level. So it means that what does that mean with the configuration? It means that when we add the log to configuration for the root log is info, so the application just show info error one and errors message for your log, but for the specific class customer service, it also show debug info one and error. So that is the difference for that. So in some situation, you want to show the debug log for the specific class. So that is always the good way to do that. Now I will run this methods it to this, and you can see that for the controller class is show 3 and in the service it show for a message for log from the debug info 1 and error. So that is a good way to do. For some time you want to show the debug log for all the packets, you can show for the bucket. You can add the bucket name here and need not to add the specific class but specific bucket. So indicate also show for level of log from debug to error indicate. Okay, and now one more thing, that is the log to the console. And one more thing, you can add some log for the Hibernate SQL. If you use the Spring Data JPA, you call some method in JPA, for example, file on or file by something. In the case you want to examine the query from that, you can add the block. And you can see when I run this one, it shows you the query from select from the customer entity or from the address entity here. I will have another session to explain more about the query in the JPA methods, but in this one we just show and see the query like this. And now we move to the LogBack login file. That is the log to show in your console, but sometimes you need to drag the log in the specific file. It's very important to help you to debug your project or to see some errors happen in some day or some specific time. So in this case, I will add the login file property. And you can add the specific parts in outside your project. And in this demo, I should add the log file and the file name. And when we add this one, the log file is already located. It just located on your project, on your application. You can add the login bash, file bash. It's also add the bash in some parts in outside your project. And for more simple, I just add the LogBack file inside my project here. Okay, now I will run it again for project, and you can see what happened when the logs by here. And for the configuration, the logs will show in your console, and it's also show in your log file. And you also configuration the pattern of the log file. It can different with the pattern in the console. Yeah, you can show the log file appear here. It can show every log is similar to a console that you see here. And the important thing, you can see every log will say in that file. And if one day the file is larger and larger, it's not really good. So in Spring LogBack, it's also support you one more thing, that is rolling file appender. So in this case, you can add the pattern of the rolling file. So for one day, we have the one file, and it's very easy to track the file and on your server. For example, if your customer has some error in your application, it's one day they give it a day they meet that error. So if you say the log in the rolling file, you can go to the file for exactly the day happened the error. So it's easy to help you to debug that. Okay, and now I will change the day to a different day here, and I will run the project again. You can see the format of the name of the file will save here. just did the demo, so I want to change the day. So you can see that it will appear the rolling file. Okay, yeah, you can see that one more file appear here, and with the day is the different day. Yeah, and similar to if you have a net day, it will show you the different file like that. Yeah, that's all about the configuration for the log file, the LogBack in the Spring Boot application. Thank you so much for watching my video.